There's normally an upset on one of these Saudi cards, right? So I'm thinking, who is it going to be? At first, I was thinking maybe Liam Cameron versus Ben Whittaker, but I do think Ben Whittaker is good, and I think, the years of abuse on Liam Cameron's body from the drugs, from the alcohol. I mean, credit to him for getting through that and getting back in the ring, right? He's got an incredible story. I don't know if you've heard it or not, but he was, addicted to drink, alcohol. It got so bad he was in the back of an ambulance having a seizure, and he just said to God, God, if you get me through this, I'll never touch the drink or alcohol again. And that's exactly what he did. He got through the seizure, he survived, quit the drink and the alcohol, and go back to boxing. What an incredible story, right? But I just think those years of abuse to your body means that I don't think he'll be able to fight quite at this highest level. So I think Ben Whittaker will beat him. But I'm a huge fan of Liam Cameron. I love to see him win, and credit to him, to fighting through these demons, because addiction's a real tough thing to go through. So obviously, who else have we got on the card? We got Jai Opetaia versus Jack Massey. I think Jack Massey is tough. I think he's a tough dude. To go 12 rounds with Joseph Parker, who's now one of the best heavyweights in the world, is a guy who's clearly a cruiserweight. The guy deserves credit. The guy deserves huge credit. He wants to smoke. He'll fight anyone. He'll give himself disadvantages just because he wants to smoke. Credit to Jack Massey. I think he's tough. He's a good boxer. Do I think he's got enough to beat Opetaia? No, probably not. So I'm not sensing an upset there. And I'm a big fan of Opetaia as well. I think he's big, he's tough. Again, he wants all the smoke. He's got that just like intimidating glare, aura about him. Big fan of Jai Opetaia as well. But I think he'll have too much for Jack Massey. I think those 24 rounds with Maris Bradis, I think Jai Opetaia's boxing brain will just be a little bit too good. I think he's got too much power as well. Good chin. But I don't think Opetaia will be able to stop him. I do think it'll be a UD for Opetaia. Sky Nicholson versus Raven Chapman. I don't know much about these guys, but from listening about them in interviews and stuff, it sounds like Sky Nicholson's got a very Shakur Stevenson type style. She barely loses rounds. I don't think she's lost a round yet in her whole career. She's very much hit, don't get hit. Very classic style of boxing. So I think from what I've heard, Sky Nicholson will be the favourite. But I think it sounds like Raven Chapman's got a bit of power. People are saying she's stylistically bad for Sky Nicholson, but I guess we won't find out until the night, right? So I think Sky Nicholson will win that. I'm not sensing an upset there. Obviously, Fraser Clark versus Fabio Wardley is very much a 50-50 fight, so you can't really say if there's going to be an upset or not, because either way it would be like, yeah, that's understandable. I do think I'm backing Fabio Wardley to get the win. I think he's got a bit more power. I think the fact he dropped Clark the first time will give him confidence, and I think, honestly, Clark, with all his amateur experience, if he would have beaten him, he would have beaten him the first time round. I think amateur and pro, two completely different games, and I think Woody's a better pro than Clark. I think Clark's probably a better amateur boxer than he's a professional boxer. But again, I like both these guys, so I won't be mad with whoever wins. But I just think Woody's got a little bit more of that dog in him, a little bit more power. I think Woody's got more to learn coming from that white collar background. So I do back Woodley to win. So on the undercard, that leaves us with Chris Eubank Jr. versus Cyrus Matip. I think this might be the upset, I think people overestimate how good Chris Eubank Jr. is just because of their Eubank name. When you look at his record, he's lost to the world level guys. George Groves, Billy Joe Saunders. I actually do think he could have beaten Billy Joe Saunders if he'd turned it on a bit sooner in the fight. He sort of let Billy Joe, fight the way he wanted to fight. He throws, then you throw. It was only sort of the later rounds he started putting his punches together and putting the pressure on Billy Joe. And by then it was too late. He was up on the scorecard. So he's lost to Billy Joe. He lost to George Groves, who just, outboxed him. He moved, good head movement. Altogether too good for Eubank Jr. So when you put their records together, they're actually quite similar, because Scaras Mata has also lost. He's also gone to world level and lost. He lost to Golovkin, who's, elite, absolute elite fighter, right? Got dropped by him a few times. And he lost to Mangir, who has really good power. He's knocked down Derevyanchenko. He knocked down John Ryder, albeit a slightly finished John Ryder. So again, he's lost to Munguia. That's not a lot of shame in a loss to Munguia, you know, another top guy, lots of power. And you can say that their CVs are quite similar. Eubank Jr.'s lost to the world, lost when he stepped up to world level, so was Charismata. So maybe you can argue on paper, this is a bit more competitive than what the bookies are saying. Everyone's saying it's a comeback fight for Eubank Jr. And I do agree he has to win convincingly, but I think it'll be more competitive than people think, because I don't know if Eubank Jr. is world level. If Eubank Jr. wants, you know, the Canelos, the Crawfords, the Conor Ben, I think he's got to make a statement in this win, show that he is, you know, world level. And Charismata has been slightly more active than Eubank Jr. Eubank Jr.'s year out the ring worries me. Like, what was he doing really? Like, you come off the best win in your career and you take a year out. Not like he was injured or anything. I can't for the life of me understand that, but there we go. Charismata's slightly more active. He fought February this year, I believe. So I think that might be more competitive than people think. And I can smell an upset. I can smell a banana skin. It reminds me a bit of Anthony Joshua or Otto Wallin, you know. Eubank Jr. should get the job done. But if he doesn't, you know, I think he has to be careful with Charismata. I think out of all the fights on the card, I think this one might be where the upset is. See, Bivol, Beterbiev, you can't really say either one winning would be an upset because it is fairly 50-50, right? My prediction would be, I think Bivol wins, but Bivol's never really been hurt in his career. The only time he got hurt was by Joe Smith Jr., where he mistook like the 10-second bell before the round ended for the end of the round bell, and he got caught because of that. So I just back Bivol just because he's never been hurt. He's so disciplined. He's rangy. He's hard to hit. He's made light work of Canelo, Ramirez, you know, top operators. I do give Bivol the edge. He's younger. We've seen Beterbiev hurt. I do give Bivol the edge, but Beterbiev is a live dog. You know, I would be very curious to see if Bivol can keep Beterbiev off him. So altogether, a very exciting night of boxing, right? I'm looking forward to it. I think, as I said, I give my prediction in this video. I do think Bivol will win. I think Eubank Jr. Charismata may be where the upset is. But yeah, leave me your thoughts in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.